All right, so you have Justice, the Two of Coins, Palace of Swords. Okay, we're going to take that one. We have the Chariot card, and then we have, the Ace of Cups. Okay. Bottom of the deck is that Six of Cups coming out. Hopefully there's not that much of a glare. Okay. All right, so you have the Six of Cups coming out, like I said, on the bottom. So this could be talking about possibly a soulmate type of connection. With Justice, this could also be talking about like a marriage for some of you. I do feel like with this particular connection, there is some there is some juggling going on. I just kind of feel like, things are kind of up in the air. I almost feel like there's possibly little to no communication for this relationship. But with the Palace of Swords, this is really trying to see things clearly. I'm getting that you're just kind of like, I just keep getting like exploration, like a lot of like exploring, a lot of figuring some things out, a lot of seeing things clearly. Because it just feels like you've been juggling for a very long time. But with the Chariot and the Ace of Cups, this is definitely going towards, love, like going towards your emotions, going towards where your heart is. I feel like, and that's what I was trying to kind of get here. I feel like for a lot of you, this is really, like I said, how you were kind of juggling, trying to like kind of weigh. It feels like there's a choice that needed to be made here. This could be between two people. This could be between, a situation and your relationship, whatever the case is, it just feels like you had to kind of choose. Make a choice. Do you follow your heart or, do you follow your head? It's like, do you think logically about this or do you go where your heart is being called is what I keep getting. All right, so we're going to clarify just going from left to right. So we're going to start with that Palace of Swords. So we have the Eight of Pentacles, we have the Magician card, and we have the Judgment card. Okay, hopefully the train is gone. So as I was saying, with this Palace of Swords, we have the Eight of Pentacles, we have the Magician card, and we have Judgment coming out. So I really do feel like somebody is starting to see things clearly. Somebody is really kind of, putting down like the juggling situation and making a decision, making a choice. I do feel like there's unfinished business here, and I do feel like this person is kind of manifesting, and this could be you, Cancer, because I do feel like I said, somebody is really kind of manifesting like a second chance at this relationship, a second chance with this person. All right, so clarifying the Two of Coins, we have that Tower, we have the Two of Swords, and we have the Four of Wands. Okay, so we have two twos here, and they're both about making decisions. The Two of Wands, or Two of Pentacles, I'm sorry. That's, like I said, that kind of juggling situation. The Two of Swords is kind of protecting your heart space, but again, also needing to make a decision, but not wanting to really be, for some of you, I get you're not wanting to look at the situation, clearly, because it's just like so much is going on. For others of you, it's just like, because so much is going on, it's like, I can't really focus. It's like, I'm not seeing things clearly is what I keep getting. And that's why it's just kind of like a juggling, a back and forth. It's just because you're not seeing things clearly. But with this Tower moment, I do feel like I said, something has really kind of broken down here, faulty foundations. And I do feel like there's a chance where we can fix this, where things can be repaired. So this Tower, I'm kind of seeing it as like a blessing in disguise here. With the Four of Wands, this is talking about rebuilding. This is talking about laying a foundation. So like I said, where the foundation was faulty previously, there's some issues going on here. I do feel like this one offers a lot, steadier of a foundation here. And, this is our twin flame card, 1111 here. So a very strong soul bond here, soul connection. All right. So with Justice, oh, look at that. You have the Ace of Cups twice. So a lot of unconditional love, but a lot of struggle too. Somebody waiting for someone to kind of make a move. Like I said, it feels like somebody is really just kind of struggling here. I'm really kind of just juggling and, not seeing things clearly. Like I said, it just feels like somebody's kind of on the fence about this connection. This could be due to just kind of protecting themselves, not wanting to, put their heart out there on the line, because I do feel like somebody is scared of getting hurt. However, I'm just kind of getting like, Something needs to be fixed here. There's a lot going on in this connection, but there's a lot of potential and room for growth. Clarifying the Chariot card, wanting to move forward is the Eight of Swords. So some stagnancy right now, somebody being really in their head, overthinking, but yet, somebody wants to work on the connection as well, but there's still a lot of confusion. Like I said, it's that being stuck in your head. It's having other choices. It's, kind of juggling. Again, I feel like somebody really needs to make a choice here. I just can't tell. I think because it's going to resonate differently for everybody, it's a choice of which way to move. Do they choose, like I said, this situation over the relationship? Or is this a choice between two people? Like I said, it's going to resonate differently for everybody, but I do feel like somebody here needs to make a choice. But like I said, there's a lot of love here, a lot of potential, for growth. All right, so clarifying this Ace of Cups, we have the King of Swords. We have, again, the Chariot card, but, this Chariot is ready to take action. This Chariot is not. This Chariot is just kind of chill. They're just sitting there, not taking action, knowing what they want to do, but not taking action because there's no truthful, honest communication coming in. There's just somebody kind of being a little, not confrontational, but, just kind of has, that sword up, has their guard up. With the Ten of Swords, there has been an ending within this connection. I do feel like somebody's feeling very abandoned, very left behind, very almost kind of like ignored. I feel like this person, or, possibly you, take it how it resonates. But I do feel like, because I see somebody sending messages and they're either getting left on red or they figured out they've been blocked. So, and that's just what I keep getting for somebody here. But yeah, like I said, definitely a situation is going on that requires a choice to be made. I feel like you've made your choice, Cancer. I feel like you know what you want, but I feel like your person doesn't. Again, feel free to switch, the roles of, who I'm talking about here. But I just feel like, like I said, a decision needs to be made, but it's not going anywhere and there's no action just yet. Somebody's ready to take action while the other person isn't. It's like you guys are not on the same page at all. But there's a lot of room for growth here. A lot of potential. There's a strong connection here for sure. All right, so Cancer, let's see what is coming in from the romance angels. Okay, so we have flirt. So extend your lighthearted energy to others. So this is just kind of saying, get back, put yourself, not necessarily put yourself out there, especially if you're not ready to date, but it's just saying get that lightheartedness back. It's okay to just, have a little fun. You don't have to take, jump into a serious relationship. Just kind of take things easy. Just keep it, fun, keep it flirty. And I do feel like this is also talking about this connection. This is talking about the relationship. Bottom of the deck is past life relationship, so you've known each other before. I do feel like I said for some of you, this is like a twin flame connection. We also have the card of soulmate coming out. So again, take that how it resonates. But I do feel like there is a lot of flirty fun between the two of you. But I just feel like either your person is already caught up in a situation or another relationship, and that's why timing is just kind of off. But like I said, I do feel like somebody needs to really make a decision here to get this kind of up and going and, in the direction you both need it to go or want it to go. All right. So Cancer, let's go ahead and let's take a love oracle. See what comes out for you. So we have, look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. All right. So like I said, this could be like a past life connection as well. And that's why you feel this strong soul bond, this strong connection, this magnetic attraction between the two of you. It's coming through really strong. And I think that's why, because this is a past life connection. I feel like you've had other past lives before, and I just feel like the connection is kind of carried over and you found each other again. All right, let's get a message from your person. What does your person want you to know? What does your person want you to know, Cancer? Okay, we have a few coming out. Okay, so we have missing you is driving me insane. So again, it does feel like there's been an ending here. Somebody's really going through some pain. But we also have I'm coming back soon. I envy the people in your life that get to be close to you. And then I have kept myself closed off for so long. It's all I know. Please give me some time to open up to you. Oh, okay. So that kind of solves that. Like I said, it just kind of feels like this person is definitely working through some issues and definitely needs to make a choice. Do they stay closed off or do they open up to you? So ball's kind of in their court, but it's also in your court as well. Do you even want to take this person back? Do you want to grow this? All right, let's get some charms for Cancer. All right. Okay. So we do have the little bunny here. So for me, this is kind of talking about fertility. Yeah, I'm getting like a lot of fertility here. Not necessarily. I don't know. I just keep getting like fertility. So, okay. So I get that now. All right. So again, a lot of room for like growth, new beginnings, like that Empress type of style of, there's a lot more potential in this connection when this person comes back. And if you choose to take this person back, with this little cloud here, and then see how there's just like some little fog, some haze coming down off the cloud. Things are kind of foggy right now. Things are kind of cloudy right now. Just give it time because things are going to be cleared up. You're going to get the answers that you need for sure. With the little helicopter here. So this could be, somebody is getting either a license, perhaps this is somebody's job, or, again, things are just kind of up in the air, not exactly knowing where it's going to go. But I keep getting that some of you could actually be at like a distance from each other as well. So with the little tree inside the circle, I do feel like right now growth is kind of stunted within this connection, but I do feel like a seed has been planted, and I do feel like, there is room, like I said, to continue to grow, if, that's what you both choose to do. So with this little flower inside the circle, again, I keep getting the same thing. Like we can grow this, but right now the growth and the potential for it is just kind of stunted. We're not able to do so at this time. So then we have the little charm of love. So of course, like I said, there's no problem with love here. There's definitely a lot of love, a lot of feelings in here. With the little coin, somebody could definitely be focusing on, money, having some financial issues, focusing on like job, career, things like that. With a little musical note, there could be some, somebody has some musical talent, perhaps as a singer, a band, musician, something like that. Or you guys use, music, you find it very healing, or, you could use it to kind of communicate. A lot of times when people can't open up, they, tend to use like, express their communication, express their feelings through, song lyrics. With this little drink here, I do feel like there is some kind of celebration or possibly somebody getting asked out on a date here. So that's fun. All right. So then we have the little owl. This particular little owl, he kind of looks a little ticked off. But, owls nonetheless are, very intelligent. They know what's going on. They're very intuitive as well, which is what I keep getting about this connection. It's just very intuitive. And, again, there's a lot of room to kind of grow, to kind of fly, but it's just right now, things are just kind of, not taking flight. With the little football player. So we are in football season. So this could be, talking about like timing. Your person could be very athletic, very outdoorsy, into football. Maybe that's something, a pastime that you used to do together is, watch football together. Again, take it how it resonates. We have the little bee here. So this is kind of, kind of that sting of the pain of them leaving is what I'm, kind of getting. Bees can mean a lot of things, but that's kind of what I'm getting for this particular situation. With the little feather, again, I do feel like this connection is very kind of guarded. This is something that was meant to kind of happen, definitely to learn something. Feathers are very spiritual. They're used in a lot of spiritual practices as well. But I am also getting the sign as like, look for signs, about your person, about your connection. You could be hearing song lyrics. You could be actually finding a feather, something along those lines. With the little fishbone, you think things are kind of depleted, things are kind of done, things are kind of just, dead. But I do feel, like I said, a transformation here. I do feel like some things are going to change and your person is going to come in wanting, communication here. Again, we have a little sign of love. So we have a lot of love in this connection. We also have the sun, which is talking about abundance. It's also talking about bringing light and clarity into the situation. With the windmill, windmills are, built to be tough. They serve a purpose. with this particular connection, I do feel like that's kind of your person's exterior is, just kind of tough. But I do feel, they're kind of, like I said, especially with this card, how they're kind of closed off. Again, needing to make a decision. Do they want to let you in? Do they want to keep you at arm's length? Whatever the situation is, I do feel like that windmill, it's just like, we got to get things moving here. It just feels like with this particular one, things are just kind of stuck and stagnant. So, all right. Well, that is what I have for you, Cancer. So I do hope this helps and gives you some kind of insight into your situation. If you guys are over on Facebook, feel free to drop me a like or a follow. I just created a Pisces intuition page over there. I'm also on Instagram if you want to do the same. If you guys don't already follow me, go ahead, do it. Because I do post certain specials. I also post readings, and everything. And I do go live a lot on Instagram. So just letting you guys know. But all right. Well, thank you guys so very much. And until next time, take care.